very curious to see your answer to this, Jay. What was the most defining moment of your life? And again, it can be more than one, personal or professional.
Oh, that's a slam dunk.
Okay.
It's when I finally surrendered to my alcoholism
Mm-hmm.
and humbled myself to admit that I needed help. And it was, I don't share this often because a lot
Sure.
of people might not understand this, but it was, I felt at that very moment God delivered me from my alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it took a little while for me to realize that my mistress, alcohol,
Right.
had to die, and I had to grieve through that process.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was faithful. She was always there, gave me the same response, never let me down.
Yep.
But it was through that recovery process that I was able to realize that she had to die.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the most defining moment in my lifetime, because what a lot of people may not know also is that after my firstborn son died, a year or two after that, I was angry and bitter.
Sure.
And that just fed my alcoholism to the max. And I had a coworker at Fort Benning that said that kept wanting to invite me to his home for an evening Bible study. And I kept saying, no, I don't want to go. I'm angry at God. I don't want to even talk about it.
Right.
He wouldn't leave me alone. He persisted, and month after month, he just kept asking me and kept asking me. And so finally I said, all right, I surrendered. My wife was still so bitter she wouldn't go.
Okay.
But I went. And as God would have it, there was a couple visiting from New York down through Columbus, Georgia, on the way down to Florida, and they stopped and spent the night with the family that was hosting the Bible study. So at the Bible study, we started our typical fellowship and sharing, and then the host asked the couple to share their testimony. You got it.
And the rest is history, so to speak.
They shared their experience. They shared their love and understanding of Christ, and how they were able to deal with the death of their firstborn son.
Oh, wow.
I said, come on. How can you have peace over that? How can you have acceptance over that? And I said, I don't. And I said, what happened? How does that happen? And they said, well, we just accepted Jesus Christ. And I said, well, what do I have to do? They said, well, all you have to do is go into the bedroom with John over here and say the sinner's prayer, and your prayers will be answered. And that's when I became a Christian.
Wow. You know, one of our previous guests, Pat Day, the
Oh, yeah, I
famous
love Pat.
jockey, I'm sure you
love
all
Pat.
spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
He has a similar story of conversion. He was alone in a hotel room, so I commend you both for what you've done. But anyway.
Yeah, but see, my addiction was so strong. I was a Christian by day and an alcoholic by night. And I lived that way for a long time until finally God got me to the point where, well, it created circumstances where God says, this is it.
You know, I'm just curious your thought process on how many people are walking around percentage-wise that are functioning alcoholics and may not even know it. They may not be in a situation where they're getting reprimanded by a superior because they may own the company or whatever the case might be, and somebody's afraid to risk their job or whatever, but yet they have this tendency or problem, I guess.
Well, it might surprise you, Kurt, but we know through research that 60 to 65% of the workforce is under some kind of influence.
Wow, really?
Right, and they're functioning. That's an oxymoron, a functioning drunk.
Right. But the fun
It's
and
like
dysfunction,
military
as I call it.
intelligence,
Yeah.
the same thing. But it's a high percentage of people that are dealing with life on life's terms. And what I found is that the problem with being confronted with a life issue, we try to face it alone.
It's true.
And you can't do it. That's what we've learned at the Healing Place. It's all about one person helping another person deal with that pain, deal with that fear, that low self-esteem, low self-worth, hopelessness, despair. We all have those feelings. But some of us have been able to figure out a way to deal with those in a positive way. And that's what you share, how you've been able to change. And it's credible because you're talking to someone who did it.